Cześć wszystkim. Co tam? Всем привет. Что происходит? Hello everyone. What is up? I want to investigate a subject that is very relevant in the gaming community. No matter what kind of gamer you are, you have probably heard of the ones who spend their whole time to solve a game the fastest. It is called speedrunning, and I'm going to show you some attempts to run several of the different campaigns of Heroes of Might and Magic 3. I also want to thank you guys for the awesome support. It is fun to see the community growing. When playing Heroes 3, I'm using what is called the HD Plus mod. It is great for many things, and I will talk about some of those things later in this video. In this video, I'm going to play Restoration of Erathia, Armageddon's Blade, the Shadow of Death, and Horn of the Abyss. I've added a bonus part at the end, so make sure to stay put for 2 special speedruns of the tutorial. Here I'm showing an example of map with the default settings that you have when opening Heroes of Might and Magic 3 for the first time. The reason I'm showing this is because I want you to see how fast it can be done, but also how it looks. I think it is important that speedrunning should be fun to watch, and for new viewers it should be understandable what is happening on screen. In the campaign Long Live the Queen, the first scenario is a medium-sized map called Homecoming. To complete the map, you must locate and capture the town of Tyrannus. Your hero will be limited to the 6th level in this scenario, but your 4 strongest heroes will travel with you to the next scenario of this campaign. You get the start bonus to choose of 14 pikemen, 5 sulfur, mercury crystals and gems, and a first aid tent. I go for 14 pikemen as a start bonus for this turn. I want to mention that Marksman is a tier 2 unit of the castle faction that is extremely good because it shoots twice. My priority is to get the upgraded archery, and I upgrade the archers that I have to Marksman with Christian, my starter hero of this scenario. Since I get so many to start with, we are good to go. I'm going to buy a citadel because it will secure our base to fall from attackers. I will also leave a hero there, spreading out units over the 7 available slots, like I explained in my video Top 7 Tips to Become Better at Heroes of Might and Magic 3. I will go straight for the subterranean gate on the west side of the map and get there before anyone reaches me. From there, I will be able to reach the dungeon town of Tyrannus that is in the middle of the underground map. During the run, I will get 4 heroes, because that way I do not need to buy these 4 in the next scenario. Auto combat should be on, because I'm confident that what I am disposed with from the start will be enough to get me through the map and reaching Tyrannus. Here I'm showing an example of the same map with the settings that I mentioned earlier. I know that there will be less micromanagement and restraint on my part, because I need to click less with my right hand. This time I will move across the map with my hero much faster than in the previous playthrough, because I have turned on hero speed to fastest with no animation. I choose to show you the default settings first, because the gameplay might be hard to understand for some players. What I mean by that is that it could be interpreted as something that has been taken the fun out of. To see the hero galloping with the sound of hooves hitting the ground could be what gives Heroes of Might and Magic 3 its characteristics, and be a too important aesthetic appeal of what defines it. I therefore want to show the default settings example first, so that you can see what it looks like to play Heroes 3 without having the system options set. During playthrough, I found out that holding my thumb on my right hand on the enter key to press while text boxes appear was a smart idea. Because I have my left hand on the other side of the keyboard, it is better to use this than having it all over the place. As you can see, with our route laid out, I play quite fast on both examples. There is no doubt that the last example is fastest. I think it is important to balance the fun it is to watch a speedrun with the effectivity in mind we need to get through a run as fast as the game allows you to go. With the examples that I have provided, I believe that the second example of playing through the map is the one that I prefer. Not just is it better to play with the settings that I provided technically, it also goes faster. Therefore, it is the preferred exemplification. The any % category refers to complete a game as quickly as possible, while a 100% run means that a player is completing the game to its fullest. You could go for several approaches of what you want to accomplish here, as there are scattered a lot of learning stones with 1000 experience points all over the map. 100% of completing Homecoming would be to get 4 heroes, up to level 6 to be transferred over to the next scenario. And any % is what I just did in this instance. A 100% run requires a lot of research and planning of time. It is awesome to watch a run developed and dedicated by a community that has perfected it. So, taking in consideration that completing the first mission of the Restoration of Arathia campaign would be the main objective to focus on, when would be the appropriate time to end a speedrun? Heroes of Might and Magic 3 is a big game, in a sense that it has big maps, a lot of objectives, and generally much stuff for the player to do. After all, it is a strategy game. It takes time to complete a campaign map, so naturally it would take longer for a runner to go for all the chapters in Restoration of Arathia in one sitting, including the bonus chapter. So, would we divide the categories into completing a chapter? Perhaps starting off easy would be the appropriate approach to anything. Things evolve along the way anyway. Here, I am showing an example of playing the scenario Catherine's Charge from the Armageddon's Blade campaign with the same name, Armageddon's Blade. It is a medium-sized map with strong monsters. The starting bonus that you can choose from are 30 pikemen, 20 archers, or 8 griffins. I'm going with the archers here. I know that we start with a lot of units that will help us on this map. The default difficulty on this scenario is hard. We do not have the options to change this. We play as Castle and are going to use marksmen again to our advantage. Set them on the top slot and we do combat manually if needed. And by that I mean if the AI cannot do the battle without losing a lot of units. Catherine is in level 12 when we start the scenario, and she can level up to level 18. And she will carry over level and spells over to the next scenario in this campaign. I'm going to do this campaign as fast as I can and improvise into the gameplay. This will not be a 100% attempt run getting Catherine to level 18. I will focusing on visiting a magic university to make her learn basic wisdom as one of the remaining secondary skills that she can learn. She comes with advanced archery and advanced offense. When I level up, I will go for this. My marksman will benefit greatly with the extra damage. I start with 2 strong heroes in addition to Catherine. You will see me leave the other heroes standing around unless I need them to pick up resources or capture enemy dwellings in the early part of the game. Priority is to defeat all enemies, and there will be a lot of them in this scenario. On a previous playthrough, I found out that if I were able to reach a town before the AI could register my presence, they would not be ready for me the time I went to capture it. Other times, if I got too close, they managed to build up a lot and be ready for a fight the next day. I will be fighting Castle and Inferno factions in this scenario. There will also be a Conflux town that are the natural or neutral town with a grey color that I will go and capture in addition to the Castle and Inferno towns. The Conflux town on the north is heavily guarded by air elementals and magma elementals. This fight was quite tricky on my first playthrough, but I successfully managed it. I would love to talk about spells for a moment. When a hero gets powerful, good spells that can be used outside of combat are Town Portal, Dimension Door, and Fly. When playing on a random generated map, View Earth and View Air becomes more viable than in the campaign, because the campaign maps are predetermined. I would say that it is okay to use what spells that is available in the campaigns, if it makes for interesting gameplay that do not contradict with the rules otherwise. Here is the rule set that I have come up with, and I will explain the reason why I have chosen them. First, start the map you want to do the run on, whether it's a campaign map or otherwise. I'm going to explain the system option settings on both the Shadow of Death as well as Horn of the Abyss. The Shadow of Death, hero speed, fastest. Enemy speed, do not show enemy movement. Map scroll speed, fast. Video quality, does not affect gameplay. Though there are cinematics in the campaign. I tested out skipping through the cutscenes as fast as I could on both low and high video quality. I did not find a difference in how fast I could skip, so I have set mine on low. It is nice to have music in the background, so I have the music volume set to 5. It is nice to have some audio cues, so I would set the effects volume to max, which is 9. I have not seen any differences in lag when adjusting the music volume as well as the effects volume. I decided to turn move path to off. What this does when it is turned on is that it shows the trail of where your hero is supposed to go. The problem with this is that you must click twice on the spot you first clicked on for your hero to go there. Therefore, it will save you clicks if you have turned show move path off. I have turned show hero reminder to off. When a player ends their turn, they will be asked to confirm to end the turn. Having this set to off, it will save the player the time of clicking yes and proceed to end the turn. The quick combat is turned on. Some of the functions of the quick combat in the HD mod has been changed so that you get the choice to play out the battle. Without the HD mod, you had only the option to apply the results that the AI played out. Video subtitles does not affect how fast you can skip through the cutscenes. I also went through and tested skipping through cutscenes with and without subtitles and found no difference. I have put video subtitles to off. Town building outlines are when the cursor is over any accessible building, will display an outline. I found no difference in the lag when turning building outlines off in the gameplay when inside a town, though I turn it off. Show object messages I have turned off. What it does is showing a message tab when interacting with an object on the adventure map. In the HD mod, when turned off, you get the message without having to accept the message by clicking. Now that we have some ground rules that could eliminate factors that can make the experience and gameplay uneven, we can focusing on optimizing our gameplay. Since we play on a PC and not a Sega Dreamcast, yes, you could get Heroes 3 for Dreamcast back in the day. We have a mouse and keyboard. It would be smart to have a keyboard that you can practice on, as well as a mouse with a speed setting in Windows that you prefer. Deactivate mouse precision and check mouse speed to be around 5. The reason why I deactivate mouse precision is because it gives the opposite effect of what we want when playing Heroes 3. The distance your mouse cursor must travel from one part of the screen to another needs to be without disturbances as much as possible. When having the Windows 10 mouse precision on, it will accelerate the movement of the mouse. This setting makes it very hard to calculate your mouse's traveling distance because it adds another variable to it. It could be a good idea to deactivate the Windows key because Alt, Shift and Control together adds hotkey combinations, and the Windows key are next to it. Since speedrunning demands a lot of fast movements, make sure you have enough space around you to move your mouse properly. Now, when your settings and equipment are checked through, you are ready to start speedrunning. Furthermore, we are in total looking for ways to make the game less disruptive, easier to have control over while playing, and to make it fun for an audience to watch. I feel that the Heroes 3 HD mod makes an extension over to for the player to make for decisions that can reflect smart move choices. It also does not conflict with what Heroes of Might and Magic 3 was before its release. I would not say that the HD mod has made it any less or any added to it that takes away what made the game unique or special. You could play the vanilla Heroes 3 as well as with the HD mod and not take away the magic that was there in the first place. I would like to mention that I like the possibility to use the hotkeys like Ctrl, Alt, Shift, Click, shortcut to transfer all units except one over to another. I do it in this run and I see it as a neat way to save time, to say the least. A differentiation in the gameplay to keep in mind would be between Heroes 3, The Shadow of Death and Horn of the Abyss, since they have some differences in the settings which make HotA faster of gameplay than SOD. To change the combat options, you need to be in combat. I'm going to explain the combat options of both the Shadow of Death as well as Horn of the Abyss. The Shadow of Death, view hex grid on, because getting as much detail over the battlefield comes in handy when needing to take fast decisions. Movement Shadow is turned on. This way it is easier to get an overview of how fast your units can go. Even the experienced player would benefit from visually see the movement shadow. I would put the cursor shadow on. That way precision on your clicks would be easier. There are a total of 15 times 11 equals 165 possible hexes on the battlefield. The movement shadow will make a shadow over each one of them, except for obstacles when hovering over with your cursor. I have the spellbook animation off. It shows when turning a page in the spellbook an animation of the page turning. I remember how this looked, but when I did a playthrough to time the different settings, somehow it would only show when the animation was off even though I turned it on in the Shadow of Death. When the animation is turned off, it turns to the next spellbook page on one click. In other words, it could not have gone any faster than this. When the spellbook animation is turned on, it takes about a second to complete, though you can cancel the animation with a click. Animation speed I set on is fast. That way the battle can go as fast as possible. The music volume shares the properties of the one in system options, so I let this as well as effects volume stay the same as the settings I mentioned previously. No changes here. When it comes to the auto combat options, it really depends on what preferences you have regarding of what AI can do during auto combat. Do you want to rely on AI to use spell points for you in auto combat? If setting it to yes, it will use spell points and as a result drain your spell points. If you need to save an amount of spell points for a fight, then turn it off in the combat option. In the auto combat option, I would turn on creatures, catapult, ballista and first aid tent. It is because it is faster to give the control to the AI. In the creature info section, I prefer having the all statistics on. It is because it gives more stats showing when hovering the mouse over the creature itself. The spell points option will show a bar with 3 slots of active spells. In Horn of the Abyss, the combat options, you have the same options as in the Shadow of Death, with 2 extra animation speeds, very fast and rapid. I set mine to rapid because it is the fastest animation speed setting, which makes playing a battle go faster. Here I am showing an example of playing the scenario New Beginning from the Shadow of Death campaign. It is a medium-sized map with monsters relatively strong in relation to what hand you are dealt with from the start. The starting bonus that you can choose in this scenario are 10 wood and ore, 8 crystal or a Mage Guild level 1 pre-built in the town Fortune Keep that is located next to our main hero down in the middle part of the map. Mage Guild 1 is worth 5 wood, 5 ore and 2000 gold. I choose to go for 10 wood and ore because I'm going for an Elves Rush build where we access elves, then Grand Elves fast. And to do that we need a lot of wood. We get the option to choose from all difficulty levels here: easy, medium, hard, expert and impossible. I choose to go for easy. That is because I can exchange in extra starting resources at the marketplace when we need it. If adjusting the degree of difficulty increase your shot to complete this scenario faster, then I will take advantage of this. I would really like a challenge, so I would have chosen the impossible difficulty if this were me not trying to beat it fast. But this time it is all about getting through as fast as possible. The class of our main hero in the scenario, Gem, is the class Sorceress, meaning her leveling will be oriented through magic secondary skills for the most part, as well as her specialty, First Aid. I noticed that the first aid specialty came in handy when healing up high HP units like the Pegasi. When doing battles, I ended up appreciating how much that the first aid tend to restore health points to my damaged units. My approach to this scenario is to get as many elves as I can, then plow through to my enemy. To win the scenario, I need to defeat all my enemies, that is the red player. In the north from the base there are 2 necropolis towns that I need to capture, as well as defeat all enemy heroes. It is possible to activate quick menu in the HD mod by clicking on F5 on the keyboard and the middle mouse button. It gives access to Market, Thieves' Guild, Quick Combat, DD area, replay that you are making on the adventure map. It is easier to activate or deactivate Quick Combat through the quick menu. In the Horn of the Abyss, keep the same settings as in the Shadow of Death. There is an extra setting called background sounds. Turned on, it will play the song when beginning a new day, at the start of a battle, and when integrating with map objects. I played around with these settings to see if it created any lag in the game, but I found no lag. I choose to have the background sounds off because it can be disturbing when moving around the game fast. Here I'm going to play Heroes 3 Horn of the Abyss, with the campaign under the Jolly Roger. Yeah, they even made their own campaign featuring the new pirate faction, Cove. Just incredible. The title of the first scenario in the campaign is Pirates and Palms. The main hero we are playing as here is Jeremy the Pirate. As in the Shadow of Death campaign, we get the choice to choose the difficulty. It does not matter which difficulty you choose, since you will lose it all right from the beginning anyway. No other players will be in this scenario except for you. We'll just let the difficulty be set as default, which is on normal. This is to save time. The map size is small. To complete the scenario, you need to capture an abandoned fort and turn it into a castle. That will prove to be quite the challenge because the resources are quite scarce. That is if you do the traditional way. I have a plan of getting an early marketplace and a resource silo. The Cove resource silo produces sulfur, one of the precious ones among with mercury, crystal and gems. After I get the resource silo, I am going to spam E for end turn. That is till I get enough sulfur to trade into wood and ore. Since there is no time cap on this scenario, I can use all the days I want. Jeremy will be limited to level 6, and because of battles I will take in this run, he will most likely level up. The start bonus I can choose from are basic pathfinding, 1 attack skill and 5 extra crewmates. I will go for the crewmates because then I can take extra hits in battles against mummies in the start of the scenario. As a bonus speedrun, I'm going to run the tutorial in Heroes 3. In the tutorial, the quick combat option as well as the show hero reminder are unable to be turned on, so we have to do the fight the manual way. In the tutorial, I will keep the same optimal settings as I have done previously on the Complete and HotA edition. This will be an exploration of what a 100% run would look like, because I'm going to collect everything, trigger every dialogue box, defeat every enemy, and do the main objective as fast as I can. So, I start to walk towards the cursed ground to the northeast, while clearing out the rest of the map. I keep a griffin on my hero. That is the fastest creature that I have at my disposal, because I will be given 5 archangels as I approach the enemy Inferno town. That will be enough for me to clear out the map. After I have done all there is to do on the map, I will complete the tutorial. In this speedrun, I will finish the tutorial the fastest way in the any percent category. I will go straight and dig up the grail. The way I will do this is to get full movement speed with one hero by ending the turn on top of the grail's location, while having another hero ready waiting to transfer it over and bringing it back to town. After the Colossus is built in our castle town, we will complete the tutorial. Dzięki za oglądanie. Doceniam to. Spasibo za prosmotir. Ja dziękuję go. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I played Heroes 3 while using the HD Plasma. The work put into this improves, in my opinion, the experience when playing. Heroes 3 Horn of the Abyss is a fan-made expansion that adds a new faction, new campaigns, new objects, and plenty more. I hope this video can inspire the speedrun community to start running Heroes of Might and Magic 3. It is a super fun game to run, and I think it has so much potential. It has not been explored enough. So shoutouts to AGDQ, awesome games done quick. I think we are getting ready for Heroes 3 as a PC game to be run at our next events. For those of you who does not know what AGDQ is, it is a series of charity video game marathons. These events feature high-level gameplay by speedrunners raising money for charity. Wow, we have come a long way. I would like to appreciate it if you would give this video a like, so that the YouTube algorithm makes it appear more frequently. You could also consider subscribing to the channel if this is the kind of content you would like to see more of. Now, I bid you farewell. See you later!